sort of community.
Pilot, are you ready for a quick video change?
Work together and also share some organs. That was great. It's always great seeing one of those.
Video, do you see this thing floating right in front of me? Can you try to image that real quick?
Going partial. Don't see it yet.
Okay, hold there. There.
That one? Oh, nice spotting.
Yeah, I think that's just mucus.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not, but...
Negative.
Might be something very small.
I like what you were going for, though.
I think it was something just...
Is that an ophiuroid? No. Crinoid.
So maybe this is another crinoid on the right of this, on the left of the rock.
Looks like
two of them perhaps.
Go ahead in video.
Yep. So another comatulid crinoid. Only five arms on this one.
But did you see the pillow basalt it was sitting on?
Got a little more zoom. There.
No, I may have missed that.
Do you want lasers on the zoom out?
A lot of striations.
No, you keep them off unless they request.
Okay.
You guys ready for another move? We just
Affirmative.
go start.
Yep.
Bridge nav. Let's do the same thing. 40 meters, 340 degrees, 0.2 knots.
Are you happy with this watch, leads?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So Chris Kelly at the University of Hawaii was thinking that perhaps there was a pentametrocrinus crinoid.
What is that?
I see that one.
Probably just an acrocervid polychaete, but they're always beautiful to look at, so we can always...
Of course.
Go ahead in video.
All right.
And then we'll keep moving, yeah, sure. Come on, look how beautiful that is.
Wow.
It's totally worth it. I agree, it's quite
it's coming
beautiful.
towards us quickly.
Yeah.
We need that in the aquarium.
Hold
Now
that.
let's keep moving.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Holding partial.
Okay, so acroceridae polychaete. Beautiful.
Oh,
Come on.
yeah.
Okay, we can keep going, pilots. Thank you. So this is one of the best
Getting
things
too
about
close for it.
exploration.
Yeah, it's
You know, up
coming right
until
at us.
like half an hour ago, I thought this dive was quite boring for the biology because we really haven't seen that much. But in the
was
last
cool.
half an hour,
That
we've
was
seen
especially
three
cool
fantastic animals, and now I'm
Come for what?
really excited.
But I see.
Careful what?
I think
Copy.
you've missed the main point. You found two sponges that may or may not be new species, or at least maybe a different range
cluster
occurrence of an existing species. So how could that have been a
That
boring
would
That's true.
explain a
Okay,
lot.
fair enough. Let's go. Fine. So maybe the first half of the dive was a little boring, but the second half was great. We collected two brilliant specimens, and we saw an awesome swimming holothurian and a swimming polychaete and a dandelion.
I think this is why they put a geology and a biology lead on this ship at all times.
It's worked quite well so far because the dives that you've been like, wow, I've been less
You've been asleep?
enthused, and vice versa.
Oh, look at that tiny little pillow fragment. See the nice round one right there?
Yeah, that is
coming
really,
off?
that is nice.
I just keep hoping we'll find the outcrops that these came from.
who knows what we'll find in the next half an hour.
Even our biologists are interested in trying to find the outcrops because they think that might be an area where we see a greater diversity and abundance of biology.
And that's just because essentially the animals will be lifted out of sort of the stagnating area close to the seafloor where friction is higher, and so there are less currents. There is a sponge at the bottom of the screen, but I mean, we've collected 2 sponges. We don't have to stop.
Okay.
But yeah, so the friction is higher closer to the seafloor, and that means, which is known as the benthic boundary layer.
This over here, video.
So that means
snapshot.
that currents slow down there, and therefore food traveling, food particles traveling in
What's that?
currents. Oh, what's
Something
the red
on the
thing
I
top.
know, that's what I was going to ask.
So food traveling in the currents are less easy to come by, and so a lot of these suspension feeding animals like to hoist themselves out of that area and sort of project themselves into the area with lots of currents and lots of food, such as on outcrops.
Makes sense.
Okay, you can come on in video.
So we're looking at a sponge with
Benthic ctenophore, maybe.
Full
Got a
zoom.
benthic ctenophore on the top.
Nav/scientist.
Oh, look at this
What?
pro. Speaking of, how far is that ship move from being complete?
So this could be
I still got a
that
little ways.
benthic ctenophore. That's a red thing. The teeny are
full
retracted
zoom?
now into the 2
Yep,
tubes.
it is.
Copy.
I would not have been able to say what that is.
But I think one of our ROV team
Yeah.
did, actually.
Yeah, he did. One of the navigators. Well done, Brian.
Thank you.
I say slightly bitterly.
Gonna come out and get an establishing.
Chris, is that a normal association, a benthic ctenophore living on a sponge? I've just never seen that before.
Yeah,
All right.
so actually, I think there's some of these, if I understood, I got to read my emails again, but there's some of them that actually inhabit very specific sponges. They definitely associate with sponges.
So is there a relationship? Like, is it a commensal relationship, or is there some benefit to both of them?
Well, it's a really small ctenophore, and it gets them up off the bottom and into the water column, so it probably has more successful feeding elevated by jumping on a sponge or coral or something.
So like just what I was just talking about with the area of friction closer to the seafloor. Very interesting.
So the interesting thing about these ctenophores, and I remember this from some of the shallower water lyroctes that I'm just a little more familiar with, is that when you look at that thing, you go, how on earth can that be a ctenophore?
Yeah.
Except for, the fact that it pulls these things in and out of the tubes, the teeny. But if you were to see them spawn, and I have seen this in the ship lab, some of the lyroctes,
Nice.
they have a stage that looks exactly like the pelagic ctenophore stage. And so they really are. It's just we're seeing kind of a reversal of stages here.
Do we want to get a look at this stock with
Yeah, sure.
something on it? Got a little bit of time here. What's that, Brian?
So that looks like an ophiroid on a stalk.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Oh,
Right
challenge.
in video.
Make sure the ROV team can get to it first. Oh, that's fantastic.
Can you take my camera?
Oh, with a pair of amphipods living on the stalk.
Tilt up.
So they're probably a mating pair.
Amphipods?
Amphipods. Can we zoom any more than that?
Oh, look at the move.
We've seen this in the
ahead,
eastern
zoom in if you
CZZ
got
as
it.
well, in the eastern Pacific.
And we get
So
to
it's
come
likely
down,
an
yeah.
Okeacanthidae ophiroid, and then, oh, look how beautiful. Oh my gosh, this dive is just getting better and better.
What's the relationship between
Thanks,
the
Brian.
ophiuroids and the amphipods? Because
No, so I don't think there's any relationship
so why does
between.
it keep touching him?
I don't think that's
touching
on purpose.
Okay.
So the relationship is between both of those animals and the stalk.
You watch the vehicles, Brian.
So again, the Ophiocampidae, you can see the long
watching them.
bristles
Yeah,
coming
as
off
well.
of its arms, and that's because
It'll be
it's a
kind of moving
suspension
about 10
feeder.
seconds here.
So it hoists itself up onto the stalk. And then
I
these
think we just
amphipods,
stopped.
I'm not
Did
really
we?
sure
Okay.
Yeah.
what their deal
Should
is,
stop moving, but you guys have
they
got at
do
least 6
often
or 7
occur
minutes
in
of
pairs.
serious
And I have,
movement
as I
left.
said, and that
So-
one has eggs. No. Can we zoom any more? They both look like they
This
have
is full.
eggs.
We
Can you
have to
come
get
wide?
closer.
One is male, one is female.
But then why do they both have eggs, Patty? I'm sorry, I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's Mr. and Mrs. Amphipod.
So they're both brooding. It looked like both of them had red eggs underneath
Tell
on the
me.
underside.
Tilt me down and come back in video.
Coming in.
Co-pilot.
Copy.
Oh
Copy.
no. Okay, so Les is saying that the purple we're seeing are actually their mouth parts, so therefore not brooding.
Hold there.
And he's saying these are just typical eucerids, which is a type of
If you have any more
amphipods.
zoom, go ahead.
That's full.
Copy.
All right, you got.
Wow, and you can
Maybe
see how
60
long
seconds.
their legs are
Copy.
as they're wrapped around that sponge stalk holding
Is that
on.
enough movement left, Brian?
Oh, I meant you probably
there
got 60
any
seconds
more
in this
zoom?
configuration before you want to go.
Then we gotta get moving soon.
Not where we are. This is full.
Okay,
What's
that's
What
okay.
was the question, actually?
If there was any more zoom, but I think not.
I don't think so.
But I think Les is very correct in that those are not, the red are not eggs. This is a male-female pair, and
come on,
those
video.
red
Time to go.
that we can
You
see
gotta
on
go.
the underside are actually their mouth parts. So Les, why would they have red mouth parts? What would be the reason for that?
All right, can we do a
All right.
local terrain check?
Yeah, let me
It's starting
come
to
up
get getting
a little more.
looks more positive.
Okay.
Looks like 340 is still the way to go.
Yeah, I think so. Let's look up the hill here.
Well, as we go up the slope, we're seeing basically splays of deposition of pillow fragments on this ball. And
All right, you comfortable?
Usually,
Yes.
when you're going up a
Bridge
tree
nav.
slope, oh wow, the things on the right
30 meters, 340 degrees.
Yeah, the ones on the right
0.2
look like
knots,
they're
please.
like intact. They're not even fractured.
They are. If you look at the
Thank
very
you.
upper right corner.
Yeah, pilot, can you pan to the right just a little bit?
Yeah, we can head over there.
Awesome. Look at those guys.
I love that we're going from like excellent biology to excellent geology.
So Patty, I'm sorry.
Definitely excellent pillow lava.
Yeah, I agree.
Do we want to take a zoom anywhere? Just an overall shot.
Overall is
These are
fine.
in place.
Copy.
There's no question about it.
Yeah, these guys, they're in place, and what's not more interesting, what's as interesting is that we haven't seen a lot on this dive that were actually intact, that hadn't been sort of fragmented. Their faces hadn't, on most of them had fallen off already. Whereas on this, you can really see what is basically the complete pillow structure. These are kind of
Also,
fantastic.
if you look in the serious image, you can see the origin of that pillow tube going up, the pillow tube on the left side of the screen now. You can see the origin of it going up the slope above what we're looking at on the main screen. This is fabulous.
So do you want to chase these pillows for a little bit?
Yeah, it'll be sure nice to see if we can find out if they're attached to a vent.
Chasing pillows.
Cool, thank you. And Patty is talking about an eruptive vent. I know that we've mentioned the word hydrothermal vent several times, but that's not actually what we're looking for at this moment. We're looking for an eruptive vent, the source of where these pillows would have come from.
So I think we likely just passed over a shrimp, but I wanted to let you
Talk.
have a beautiful geology shot, so I chose not to ruin it at that exact point in time.
You've seen several shrimp before.
Exactly. Yes. It wasn't high priority. The pillows were awesome.
Different terrain up there.
Yeah,
This
so we're
reminds me a
definitely
lot
heading
of
into
Canada.
Sometimes are hollow.
regginess.
Yeah, did you see that one?
Of the screen is showing a broken top of the pillow that you're looking into the interior. And up on the upper left now, looks like we're heading towards the source.
Yay! So Patty's totally right. It's a little bit just below our view right now, but we actually saw a hollow pillow, and so that's when the outside solidifies, but then the inside drains out. See those guys?
We're looking at the glass top of a pillow tube. But if we go directly up the slope, I think we may be able to see a field of pillow lavas,
Oh yeah.
possibly hoping where they're all coming from, or where they came from when they were erupting.
So as we look at the Sirius feed as well as the feed from the main camera, we're definitely seeing an area where it looks much more intact. As you can tell, there's no more of that sediment and talus slope. Instead, we've really just got a field of somewhat crunchy pillow lavas. They're not all perfectly intact. But there's more of
I
those.
agree. We're not on the Taylor slope anymore.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? We're all about some good-looking photogenic rocks.
Can I turn to follow you?
I'll just come back in.
Okay.
Here. How far into that move are we?
We have about 5 meters remaining.
Okay. You can keep it going.
Copy that.
Do you guys
First
want to
half.
zoom in on that
Yeah.
white thing?
Can we snap zoom
We'd like to
on
add
the
an additional 30 meters
Sure.
to this move. 340 degrees, 0.2
sponge,
knots.
I'm thinking.
Sure.
So why do we think we've seen so many sponges on this transect as opposed to other types of biology?
I mean, the only hypothesis that I can come up with is that we've seen the two main animals we've seen during this dive have been sponges and crinoids. And the crinoids, even if they've been comatula crinoids, they've been hoisted up
Okay, video. Go
onto
ahead.
stalks. So yeah, this looks pretty similar to the one we collected earlier, with this large spicule mat coming
Oh,
off
it's
of
the
the
Wookiee
bottom.
hair again.
Beautiful, thank you, pilots.
Okay, come on. Oh, I'm over there.
Over there. Follow you this time?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so both the sponges
Come
and
up,
the
though.
I am.
crinoids are suspension feeders. And so maybe that's just because... So maybe that's just because that's, I don't know, but I just don't understand why there aren't deposit feeders. But maybe, as Patty was saying earlier, this is just a too volatile area.
Right, I mean,
and
they
these
might be
rocks
buried.
coming down the hill will, or like crushed. I
Yeah.
think more like.
so yeah, so they're not going to be hanging out here.
So I think it's just a couple of suspension feeders that get by.
So I don't mind if you turn to look at me. Just definitely tell me if you do.
Okay.
Watch leads. We are about
do that.
an hour remaining on the bottom.
If I'm like to the right like that, you know.
And we've got about 175 meters of transit to get to the surface, which we should be able to do if...
You mean the waypoint?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
the dwarf surface, sorry.
I was like,
top,
really?
yeah, I don't really know. The top of this feature,
Okay.
which if we continue at the pace we should make with a little bit of time to look around up there.
Okay, so then I definitely
snap-on
ask
shrimp.
that we kind of try to keep moving as fast as possible.
So this isn't a matter of Carcinus shrimp. We've already seen a couple of these, so not crucial to get great video. But if you guys want to, of course, feel free.
We've got a minute for the ship to move, so.
Yeah, we can come by though.
All right.
So if you're just joining us, we just heard from our navigator that we have an hour left on the seafloor. We are at 2,770 meters depth, and we are continuing to move upslope towards the end point of our dive, which we hope will end up on a sort of plateau-ish type feature. Not quite plateau, but less harshly sloping area. On our way, we're going to look for some more great geology. We've seen a lot of
Can we get
sort of
snaps in the
pillow
center?
lavas
Yeah,
and
that's
other
interesting.
volcanic features. Megalodicopia tunicate. So these are predatory.
Come on. Come on.
These are predatory tunicates, and they're amazing.
That was very
The
funny.
genus is called Megalodicopia.
And again, the whole time that you were looking at that tunicate, I was looking at the rock to the right, thinking, "Ooh, what a nice looking pillow basalt." So
Yeah,
to
so
each his own.
we've seen some. We've seen some great geology and some great biology on this dive. We've collected
Go ahead, video.
2 rocks and 2
Can you take my camera?
sponges. The sponges
come a little wide,
may be
video?
new species of sponges.
Thank you. Hold there.
And right now we are looking at a predatory tunicate. So tunicates are chordate.
Give it a slight
They are
tilt
very
up.
closely related to us.
Perfect.
Yes.
They have a
you.
spine.
Well, not
Not really?
quite, but yeah. They're very closely related to us, and these ones are
Okay to
predatory. And
zoom
so what we're looking at right now is sort of the mouth.
Can we get video?
Okay to
That
zoom
kind of
pilot?
closes
Oh,
over.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
like
right there.
a sock
It's like the
puppet
C, yeah, that
kind
sort of
thing.
a upside down C or
Yes,
sideways
exactly.
C shape.
So it's like a sock puppet.
What's the little thing in the middle?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But these are always.
You
We've
give it
just
a
seen some
slight tilt up
absolutely
just to
brilliant
check out
biology at
that,
the end of this dive.
Whatever that is.
In the back there.
Yeah.
Copy.
Yeah, hold
These
there.
are one of my favorite deep sea animals because they're just so weird. You know, the weirder the better. If you live down here, you look weird too.
This is a lovely animal.
You tell me
I'm
down.
looking at
Gotcha.
the serious image
Yeah,
up
there's
there.
a-
There are lots of rocks up
All right, you got
higher.
about 2
Yep.
minutes here.
We need to
Further?
get on our
Interesting
way and check
structure
out
at the
the
bottom.
rocks.
A little
So
more
sorry,
maybe
whenever
when we're done.
we're good to move whenever.
Copy that. Are you clear,
But
video?
that was brilliant.
Oh, I just like to see there's an interesting color at the base. I'm not sure
Okay.
what it is.
Come down.
Okay.
Fill frame.
So you like these more
Right
than
there?
hollow
Right
fairies?
there.
Ah, right there.
Seems
Just
like it'd be a
look,
hard
that's his
one.
mouth.
Oh my!
So amazing.
A little bit more.
Yeah, just a touch.
That's fun.
How big is this thing that we're watching it?
Oh,
with the giant-
yeah. How big?
Yep.
Are,
Go ahead,
can we
hit
have
a
the
laser.
lasers on?
Lasers on.
If it's going to feature in my nightmares, I just want to know how big it is.
All I can think is the little shop of horrors.
See what I mean?
You clear with base video?
Yep, we're done.
Okay, come wide and then
Oh.
hold there.
With the lasers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tilt up for me.
Fantastic.
Tilting up.
Co-pilot? Yeah.
Tilting up.
Yep.
All right, once you get to
Just get
establish
lasers on it.
the laser shot, it's time to go.
Just get lasers on it.
Okay. Tilting up.
So basically, it keeps its mouth open, and
whoa.
whenever a small animal
on up.
drifts
on.
inside,
There we go.
that's it.
All
Further?
right.
Right.
It really does seem
Come on,
like
video?
Audrey 2 from Little
There
Shop
we
of
go.
Horrors.
I don't know what that is, but
That's-
they mostly eat zooplankton and also
That's
tiny
lazy.
animals.
Okay, you can come live video.
Megalodicopia.
Okay. So
Thanks,
slightly
co-pilot.
over 10
Lasers off.
centimeters wide,
That was
long.
cool.
Get my camera back whenever
And now
you
we're
get
going
a
back
chance.
to
Okay.
rocks.
And it's time to move.
All right, the position move's done. So once you get
How
out,
big
Oh,
I'm
was
going
it?
to put another
Slightly
move
over
in.
10?
Slightly over 10 centimeters,
Oh my
maybe
God.
about 14 or 15.
It's like the cute size.
Okay.
Everyone else was talking about how it was going to be in their nightmares and you thought it's cute. Okay, upward.
We're back in a little bit of a scree slope, more tailless.
I'm directly over you right now, but I'm coming up.
Copy that. You don't need to come up until I get up a little higher.
Okay.
Yeah, now you can start to come on up.
Thanks, Brian.
Well, that's a lot of rock.
Possible to get snap zoom on this coral or not?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. This one dead ahead?
Yeah,
Yes,
we're in
please.
outcrop now.
Yeah, I think
Come on in, video?
we've definitely
So
changed where we were
different.
going. Thanks, Bob.
Hold there.
Especially for those of you who are watching, if you're not interested in the coral, you can look at the Sirius feed and
Everybody is interested in the coral.
and see what kind of rocks there are.
So this is an isidid coral, again, type
Okay,
of
try to
bamboo
come in
coral.
on the polyps. Hey, keep coming up, go pilot.
Okay.
You can
Thank
see
you, Scott,
slant
for the
range
ID.
to that slope right there.
Is it possible for us to look at the branching point?
Yeah, I'm 12
so
and a half
we're
meters short.
brilliant.
Come on, video.
Oh, it looked like
Come
there was a
on.
little polychaete on it as well, a little pink
Holding
polychaete.
partial.
Probably a polynoid, which is scale worms.
Okay, come back in, video. Hold there.
Copy.
Great, thank you, pilot. That's exactly what the scientists on shore wanted. And while we're zooming here, you can also see the little pink polychaete that I'm referring to on the main stem. Thank you very much, pilots. That's awesome.
Yep, time to move on.
Copy that. Come on, video.
All right, we're
Full
going to keep
wide.
trucking.
Copy, thank
Hopefully
you,
we
video.
found ourselves in our outcrop and we will stay there for a while.
Oh, this terrain has just changed so dramatically.
Bob, we haven't had you talk about the geology for a while. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what we're looking at?
Sure. I mean, we're looking at, we finally reached the caldera wall, and what we're seeing is lots and lots of pillows. This is the stuff that it's fallen down and
Zoom
those
on.
free slopes
Zoom.
below.
Can we zoom on that jelly, please?
Yes, I do.
I think
We'll
it's
see
a
hard
shrimp.
rock all the way to the top.
On your
I don't know.
mark.
Go ahead.
Great, thanks.
No. I thought it was.
Is that a
Oh,
shrimp?
no, it's
Yeah.
a shrimp swimming towards us. So this is a type of Caridian shrimp.
Face off.
You can see it's really big plates
You
on
can
either
take
side
in.
of its head. Unfortunately, Jeff Drazen isn't in our chat room right now. He is usually the one that has these ID'd
There.
to a
Full zoom.
T. But I will definitely send this to Mary Wixton, another one of our crustacean taxonomists. But they also just swim so rhythmically.
Fill frame with them. Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Are we ready to move on?
Yep, ready to move on whenever. Thank you, pilots.
Let him swim out of frame.
Says the geologist.
I know, right? As we're watching this majestic animal swim through the ocean.
I'm not trying to be mean,
I'm full
but I
wide.
think this is our fourth shrimp today. I don't know. I feel like I've watched
But this
swimming
is the
shrimp
first
already.
of that kind.
There's something.
Okay.
Oh, that's in stock sponge
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, these
It
ones
is
are
beautiful. I agree.
These ones are quite hard to tell apart. I mean, there's Aristopenaeus, Benthisismus, Pelesiopenaeus. There's just loads of, whoa, that sponge is huge.
All right, the ship is
So
stopped.
that's a Caulophacus sponge and a really big one by the looks of it.
Standby video.
Hey, Nav, how long was the ship stopped for?
You're stopped too now.
Oh, okay.
So
It also looks like it has something on its stalk. Maybe a crinoid or an ophiuroid. And then there's also a little coral right down to the right side of it.
Okay, come on
We
in,
don't need
video.
to we don't
me
need
to
to be
take
here
camera?
for a long
Okay.
time because we've seen plenty of these sponges before. And it
Copy
definitely
that.
is an ophiuroid on the stalk.
Come on in, video.
All right.
Yeah, so 2 Ophiocanthidae brittle stars on the sponge and a rather large Caulophacus sponge.
All right.
Okay.
Let's move
Thanks,
on.
guys. Happy to move. Yep.
Come on.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Call it in.
Yep. Bridge nav. 30 meters, 340 degrees, 0.2 knots, please.
So this is interesting. We had passed through an area of outcrops, but now it looks like we're back, at least on a sedimented slope. It's hard to tell how much of that is talus, or maybe it's just intact and buried.
Try to get a shot down the slope here.
So that could be a stalked crinoid that we're just about to pass. Yes, I think it is.
Do you want to take
And
a look
this
at
is
it?
the,
Or?
I mean, only just a quick snap zoom.
Go ahead,
but
snap zoom.
this is the
Definitely.
first stalked crinoid we've seen. Yep. So there we go. Is it? Or is it another one with it? Yep, nope, definitely stalked crinoid. And so this one has 5 arms. And so it's probably from the genus, from the family Hyocrinidae. And we saw quite a couple of these on other dives, but this is the first one we've
This
seen
is
today.
partial.
Thank you very much, pilots.
Copy that. Come wide video. Come back to screen here.
Yeah, nope, so
Come back to the rocks.
And as we continue to trundle along, you can see how angular many of these pieces are. And we've heard a number of times that when you're looking at a shape that's angular with perhaps a rounded top, you're probably looking at a piece of what used to be a pillow basalt. In addition, it looks like there might be something more like ropey. But it's hard to tell because it's covered with sediment.
Yeah, this is Patty. Certainly, these fragments of rock look very different from the pillow fragments we saw a little earlier. They look like very thin, more flat, thin fragments, possibly from sheep.
can we snap zoom on the...
Snap
Yeah,
zoom.
I mean, I think that
blue,
if you look at that mid...
purple Holocerian.
Oh, there we go, dancing again.
So this looks like the same one
Comparing these guys into action.
we were seeing before, which, what did our echinoderm experts eventually settle on? It had us stumped for a little while.
Okay, that's kind of amazingly cool.
It is, and that is its mouth on the other side.
Thanks for letting us know.
You're welcome.
So Allison Miller came up with paleo.
Oh, paleo. Yeah,
for
that's
this
what it was.
particular holothroid. And most of us went right on board with that. Yeah, we're all pretty sure that she's right on it.
So we think it's, so thanks to Alison Miller for that ID. She's come up with Paleopatides for the genus. And we saw another one very, very, very similar earlier in the dive, also swimming to try and get away from us as quickly as possible. Just incredible. Absolutely beautiful.
Video, do we feel like we've had enough of this yet?
Sure. I mean, yes, that was beautiful.
All right, pilot, could we keep moving if you have the
Thank
ability
you.
to
Let's
do
do
so?
another 30, same direction, same speed.
Affirmative.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So one of our biologists on shore just mentioned that the holothurians are super elegant when they're swimming in the water, and unfortunately, when you bring them up to the surface, they're kind of an amorphous blob.
Just great footage, though. The zoom on these cameras is just phenomenal. Looks like we're going to pass over another one of the sponges. We don't need to zoom in. We've seen our fair share of sponges today. In our effort to try and get to the top of this hill, let's just keep moving.
So I believe Diva's already mentioned this, but we're going to be coming off bottom right about 5 o'clock Fiji time, so about 45 minutes from now. And for the scientists, we will be having our next dive call for the next dive at about 5:15, so about an hour from right now. We'll give you a few minutes to go.
Get a drink of water.
Yep, get a drink, get a snack.
Got some
come on
time
back.
video. Can you go snap zoom here?
Sure.
Another sponge.
So another little stalk sponge here, judging by the stalk, which is quite fibrous. Maybe the genus Hylanema.
Yeah, you can come wide if we want to keep moving.
Yes, so
Just
Chris
don't
agrees,
snap
says it's a Hylanema baby
Thanks,
because
video.
of the small
Full wide.
size and small stalk.
This is Patty. In the serious image, I'm looking over just slightly to the left of the ROV. The pilot could swing a little bit left. There's quite a good
Whoa.
deal of that prop over there.
Oh, yes, there is. Thank you, Patty.
You turn to follow me.
Thank you.
Boy, that looks like just a solid mass of lava. Much thicker than any pillow or any other sort of outcrop we've seen as yet.
I agree.
And as we moved over that big outcrop, there was a comatulid crinoid on it, which we've seen quite a couple of during this dive.
Getting way out there, huh?
Yeah. On sonar, this actually looks like it's upslope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far to waypoint? 300. Oh no, only 100 meters. Yeah.
So So it looks like we have some nice intact pillows up in the upper right of the frame right now.
I think we have the leash to get there. Let's go look.
Look at those guys.
Oh, these are lovely, Dan.
They are. They're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, I think for the next move, I'm going to move you guys over 10 degrees and do 330. It doesn't necessarily match the bathymetry, but it certainly matches what you're seeing.
That sounds good.
Up on the slope of a caldera like this, and one thing I was thinking about is that the
I'm going to start
formation
turning
of a
back slightly to keep you
caldera
middle because we're going to be doing
doesn't
330
involve
anyway, right?
just a single slope fracture,
yeah.
but rather there often are
We got a couple minutes. We got a lot of swing left in 340 still.
a caldera.
So
Sometimes as material sinks into an active magnet chamber, it can permit
Kind of want to come up a little, get that tether out.
of the magma to ooze up along those concentric fractures.
The
and
sharp angular
erupt
stuff is
either as
nasty.
individual cones or, maybe a fire fountaining event around the rim of a caldera during a given eruption phase. So maybe what we're looking at is stuff that may have erupted after or during a caldera forming event. Who knows? But if we get some rocks that we can date, maybe we can figure some of this stuff out.
Thanks, Patty. Yeah, it's really interesting to think about sort of that these are not part necessarily of the larger caldera formation. Or they're
thanks,
part
Brian.
of it, but
Let's
they're
do
not
another
part of the main
30
caldera
meters, this
formation.
time at 330 degrees, 0.2 knots. Thank you.
So we just passed another one of the acrocyrid polychaetes that was swimming. And there's a coral coming into focus again now. We've seen quite a couple of single stem isidids, which are bamboo coral. And we've also seen lots of other fantastic biology and geology during this dive.
But unfortunately, one of the things we didn't see is we thought we might see mature communities, like large biologically mature communities, and that we really haven't seen. And maybe it's just the particular heading we've taken.
I think it's also the fact that we're, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but the fact that we're inside of the caldera rather than on the outside of the caldera, there'll be a lot more currents on the outside of the caldera.
So you mean that we're climbing up the wall on the inside rather than climbing up the outside wall?
Exactly.
We haven't seen a lot of fish today, have we?
No, we really
No,
haven't.
I think
seen
we've
a
seen
few.
Two.
Oh, at least two.
Or one?
No, at least two.
Two, yeah.
Nice pirouette.
I didn't think that feature was that big.
If you've got the leash, do you see the rock at the top right and how it's got the color contact in it?
In my screen?
Yeah, in your screen. I want to see it. It'd be interesting if that's real or not.
Yeah, we've got the leash.
Are you guys looking at that the rock that's coming into the center top right now?
Yep.
Looks like a ledge. Diagonal.
Oh, but look at what's behind it on the left. I think it's just a little bit of a, like where it broke. I think there's just sediment sitting on.
What's pink on the top right?
That's not the rock.
Stand by video.
Oh, it's just an ophiuroid, I think.
Come on in.
Like
wrapped
two
around the
arms of it or
side.
something?
Yeah, so we're seeing two arms of it as it's sort of flattened itself onto the rock, and you can see all of its,
Yeah.
yeah, an ophiacanthe. Thank you, pilots.
Sure. Whenever you're clear, video.
And there's also a tiny
Sure.
barnacle in the background.
Full wide.
Copy. There were some exciting rocks to the left.
They look pretty nice.
Yeah, just you're getting kind of far afield left.
Okay, then come on back.
We can look at them from here. Okay. Come back to center.
See those nice intact pillows that we just went on a frame for. Patty and Bob, I think one of the
Are you going to
things
want
we
me
were
to follow
trying
you
to figure
around?
out
It
here
looks kind of like
was
upslope is where I'm facing.
an age progression. Would a rock sample,
Are we done
now that
moving?
we're closer to the summit of this transect, be
Sorry,
useful
second
for
about
you?
Are we done moving?
No, we're still moving 330.
330. Well, let's get back to that for now.
Okay.
Absolutely. These we can see are in place, and they look like they'd be really good to get a sample of.
Yeah, I agree with Bob. I think this stuff looks so different texturally from what we saw earlier in the dive. Certainly there are a lot of loose fragments sitting around on the seafloor. Ought to be pretty quick to pick up.
Okay, thanks. By the way, I do realize that you should never really ask a geologist if they want more rock samples, because they will always say yes. But in this case, I think it's justified if we're trying to figure out sort of an age progression.
I'm going to go snap zoom here, video.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Can we just take a peek at that yellow thing just to see what it is?
The thing that we're looking at right now?
Yes, that's it.
So this is another type of stalked sponge with a strange morphology.
It looks like Hubert.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you don't remember Hubert? Sorry.
Oh, come on.
Nothing Google
Coming.
can't fix.
Partial.
Are we done looking at that sponge, or do we want to take another close
No,
up?
that's fine, thank you. I mean, if can we snap zoom again, if possible? Sorry to be indecisive. Scott France agrees with you. It does look like Hubert.
See?
What's that?
It was a video game.
Oh,
A really old video game.
Come on in, video.
Zooming.
You take my camera, co-pilot.
okay, and yes, it does look like that.
Copy.
Come down.
Coming down.
There you go.
Thank you.
Coming down.
So I have no clue. This is pretty bizarre. It's kind of interesting.
That's full.
I don't even know what order right now.
But it's got lots of things living on its stalk. Lots of maybe little barnacles living on the stalk. But yeah, this is one strange sponge. An interesting
We
color.
stop. The ship-
An interesting.
Ship is stopping. You guys have 5 minutes of swing left.
Copy. Maybe come up,
Morphology.
co-pilot.
Copy.
If we're gonna focus on this.
Whoa, too far.
I think it arrived here on an asteroid.
We're on an ophiuroid.
Oh dear.
Boom.
What? Oh. What happened?
Oh, Hopefully others listening realize that was a joke.
Yeah, we got that. We got that, Chris. As did the ROV pilot.
I'm more worried about if there are any school kids or anybody listening.
Did we get enough imagery of this?
Yeah, this is great. Thank you, everybody. We can move on.
All right.
Copy that.
Are we here for a while, or are we moving?
We are here.
What?
We are here for the moment, but we weren't planning on staying here, but we are getting pretty close to the
Thank
top.
you,
So
video.
Okay. I think we would be interested in trying to get one more rock sample, either here or at the top, wherever is best for you to stop, as long as there's nice, abundant, loose rock like there is here.
well, it's your call on time. So it's just how much time you want to spend looking around up there, or take the opportunity to get a potentially loose rock here. I think this is a good spot for it.
I think it's a good spot, too.
It is one or the other right now.
Yeah. Bob and Patty, would you like to sacrifice the drive to the top for a rock
We
here?
got lasers on.
Or would you like to keep
Lasers
moving?
on.
Well, I'm going to let Bob make that decision. This is his dive, but I would go for something.
Oh, that's a tough call. But yeah, I go for a rock too.
Okay, so Pilot, Nav, we're interested in trying to get a rock around here.
Rock eye.
Copy that. Do we?
Oh, dear.
You're going to grab one. The one on the laser
We have a
pointers
where
right
we're going to
now
put
is
it problem,
good.
though.
That looks
what I
really
was looking
big.
at. Let's.
Yeah, that's right.
No.
No, that looks
No.
really,
Yeah,
really
no.
big.
Huge, yeah.
So watch leads. We're going to have a little bit of a where
That's
we put
way
it
too
problem.
big.
Stop. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Brian?
We're going to have a little bit of a where we put it problem because both rock boxes are already full.
We can.
We can do
Is there no
50.
room
So-
in?
There probably is. We just have to make sure we get one you can tell apart.
Yeah. No, that's why we have you spin them and do video imagery on them so that we can look at them and tell them apart later.
Do we
Okay.
just hold it in the claw?
I'm just.
No.
I'm just. Watch it. You tell me where.
I think anywhere in this general vicinity,
And
if you
Nav,
see
how long
one
have we
that
been holding position here?
I'm
Roughly.
looking at.
it would be good
You're
to try
not-
to keep near the
You're
outcrops.
not quite still yet,
Okay. Copy that.
but you should be. The move was completed 4 minutes ago, so you should have about
Okay,
60
thanks.
seconds of swing left.
I don't know. You see any that are good size here?
Actually,
What
Chris, you
about
want to jump up and run 10 meters ahead and see if you got something?
Okay.
I'll give you a little more time.
Copy. I do. That's a good call.
Yeah, I think we'd be happy with any rock around here
Okay.
that is not 100 pounds.
Except now we're going to get out of the cement
Oh.
into the cemented stuff. Erg.
Yeah, tilt up. There you go. You think these are all cemented?
Yeah,
What
maybe.
about like the one right beneath the lasers right now? I don't think that one's cemented.
Kick it with a toe.
That one right there?
Maybe not.
I don't think so. Let's go for it.
Sorry, watch leads. We just hopped ahead to give us a little more time.
That's okay.
Want me to fire up hydraulics?
Yeah.
Are these guys as red as they look on the screen? Yeah.
Is it 3/4 or is it nearly the top for arm?
Orangey,
3/4 is fine.
Okay.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing, Patty. I mean, is that real, Pilot? Is that red?
Yeah, it should be.
Then we may not want to get a rock here.
Oh boy. No rock?
Patty, I mean, I would say, normally that red sort of
you
means alteration
zoom
product.
video?
Do we want to try to pick something up here, or do you want to keep moving?
Sure. We can zoom in.
Yeah, I would stay away from this particular area.
Okay, come
Yeah.
on, video.
It might be hydrothermal.
I mean, I don't really see any actual hydrothermal
Okay.
anything,
Spooling down
but
hydraulics.
normally we want
You
to
can
try to
probably
get a
keep them
rock
up,
that's
co-pilot. We're going to
black,
go
not
for
red.
one.
What's that?
You can probably keep them up for a minute. We're still going for one.
Yeah,
We're just
I
not
agree
gonna
with
go
you.
for one right here.
How about you, Bob?
I agree.
Yeah. So, pilot, we'd like to move on from here,
Copy.
which is already happening, so it's perfect.
Do you want to move on, or just swing
No, we
over
just want to
3
find
or
a
4 meters?
different
Okay.
place for rocks.
No red.
Yeah, it's not really, especially if you're trying to think about age dating and you need to get that fresh core inside a rock. When you see something that looks like that color, it's generally probably going to be very altered.
Copy.
Little rock right there in the center high, under the ledge. Might be too little, but
On the azimuth that the ROV is pointed right now, on the Sirius image,
Yeah,
see a
either
lot
of those
more
maybe.
outcrop up the slope. So
That one's
I
loose,
think
so
the, it's a
it's a
pretty
little too big.
target-rich area. So I don't think
Yeah.
it's going to be a problem to move up a little
grab
bit.
one arm with the shilling and one side of the fan.
I don't think so. How about either of these two? Are they too small?
What about that little guy right in the middle, geologist? That's about a 10 centimeter wide rock.
Maybe
10 centimeters.
maybe the one right.
Good fresh
Maybe
core,
that one.
Oh,
10
no, weather,
centimeter
two weather
fragment.
broke.
Maybe that one right there.
Is that a loose rock?
I think so. Come in video.
Assuming partial.
Are you guys looking at that? I wasn't looking quite at that thing, but
Yeah, I think it is.
that's loose. That would be one.
Come on.
Yeah, I think that one might be a real viable option if we can pick it up.
Copy. Am I spun up?
Yes.
Copy. Can you bring up Mini Zeus?
On your right.
On my right. And center that up. Which rock box do we want to go in? Video? Or no?
Oh.
I mean, sorry, launch leads. Video.
Anyone will answer?
Video doesn't
I-
even care.
Personally, I don't really mind one way or the other.
Okay.
Where do you want
as
your
long
camera?
as we get
Down.
enough imagery of it, spinning around so that we can tell them apart.
Copy.
Maybe the open one that has the rock already.
Arm
One of
coming
the
on.
one of the ones that has the rock already. Just
So they both have a rock
Let me
already.
know
Yeah,
as
but
you need me to move
I'm
it.
worried that if we open the door, the sponges will float
Yeah,
out.
we certainly
No,
we certainly
they
want to
don't
go after
do
the
So they
rock
don't
box.
open the door; they just flip the lid of the
Oh yeah, the rock box.
Yeah, the
Okay,
rock
fair
box.
enough.
But honestly, whichever one is easier for you guys, I can make it work.
Looks like
Copy.
you got plenty of room in the
Yeah, it looks like there's space in
starboard
starboard.
Starboard. Okay. You want to
Oh,
just
thank
hold
you.
there.
Okay, tell me when you want to bring it
Starboard, 'cause
inbound.
that's where they're
Copy.
going.
You come partial on Mini Zeus.
Stand by.
So while he's
Just center
collecting
it.
this, I had asked a little while ago about a white box on the upper deck. So we actually went out and purchased a large white plastic box and mounted
There you
it
go.
on the upper deck to store all the rocks for the 4 cruises. The top apparently blew off during leg 3 in the Northwest Hawaiian Islands, but I was wondering whether they were able to get another top for that was still usable as a rock container overflow from the lab.
Hey, Chris, it's Brian. Short answer is no, we couldn't get a lid, but yes, we have a backup plan.
Thanks, Brian, because Chris had asked that earlier, and I had no idea what he was talking about. All right.
Can you tilt up on my camera?
On Zeus.
But that was a beautiful grab.
Yeah, it was a very nice grab. Do we like this rock?
We really like that rock.
We're so
video?
easy to please. Even as pieces fall off it. Oh. No, we didn't like that rock.
That was not. That was barely a
I
rock.
take that back.
We don't like that rock.
Bad rock.
I hate that rock.
Do we want to go for another one here? Or are they?
Maybe not in this vicinity if we just squashed one rock.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, do we want to make for the summit then?
Yeah, maybe, Deb, you were right about hydrothermal alteration there. Good call.
Unfortunately, not
Wide on
before we
Mini
picked
Zeus?
up a rock.